So let's check in on the Y Scholars calls. I just want to see kind of where everyone's at. I've been kind of problem solving Airtable issues and questions as we go along. So just want to check in. So first up, making sure everyone has access to Airtable, the contact list and the rosters. Any questions or problems out there? America, go for it.
Sorry, Audie. I'm getting reconnected with all my accounts and stuff. Could you remind me the username slash password combo for Airtable? Is it the same like Y Scholars email, or is that something different?
Oh yeah, it's your specific Y Scholars email. Okay,
Oh, okay, perfect. So I got that then. Okay, that's it.
great. Any other Airtable, Anai? Good. Shout out to Anai. You're like one away from getting everybody, so good work on that. Elaine, anything on your end?
I have been really busy this today. I was preparing for discussion that I finished an hour ago, but tomorrow I will be at Anai's level. All right.
No problem. No, it's okay. Like you all have, I would say, until Sunday. So just, I think, yeah, try to get at least the first round down. So then by Sunday you can do that second round. Okay. And like always, you can also like what I've done in the past is at least if you're too busy to make the calls, at least get the word out first by sending out like an email just to get it started, and that's easy, right? Because you can just kind of include it right in on the email. That's really quick. Okay. Any kind of and when calling, or I don't know, Anai, when you were calling the scholars, any kind of issues or concerns that came up?
I think my only issue was like my area code. Like it's so different from there. So it's like, oh, it's probably a scam.
Hmm.
So just leaving an email. I left no, leaving voicemails. They would call me back within like 5 minutes.
Okay.
So I think it was just that was my only issue.
Okay. Great. Sounds good. Hey, Jasmine, welcome back. Uh,
Hey.
yeah, right. We're just kind of asking, where you're at in terms of calls and scheduling, and then any troubles with Airtable or communicating with scholars and families.
Yeah, so I actually haven't started just yet. I was going over the plans, but today, like, I got a little backtracked with classes. So I do plan to start tomorrow.
Okay.
But so far I haven't had any issues with Airtable. The only like thing that I did need clarification on, which I did see in your message from yesterday, was like where we put like documentation of like the phone call or like the meeting. So that was cleared up for me.
Okay. Great. Sounds good. Let's go to the training pathway. So this is kind of what I've listed. As you can see, I'm trying to use my creativity side to make the training sound more fun than they really are. So if you got suggestions, I'm all for it. Right now, the one that's ready to go more or less will be Know How to Speak Y Scholars. So you'll see there's a link to the YouTube playlist. I'm adding more videos to that, so then it's more or less kind of like the presentation that I gave during the info session, but probably with a little bit more details. I also shared with you a document that's kind of like a write-up version. So you should have, you have a write-up, writing, you have video, and you have audio. So whatever learning style, I'm catering to you. So basically, by the end of it, you should practice and know how to talk about the program, know about the attendance policies, about how we communicate with scholars, all of that stuff. Okay. So let's talk about, in addition to this, is there anything that you see that you would like to get training on that's not on there? Any kind of topics that you are hoping to get just to make you feel more confident going into this year?
I just have a like I guess a quick question
Yep.
for like workshop, well, some like the sessions and that they'll be going into. Like, is there going to be like a document that we're going to create to know which student is going when, or like when they've attended one, if they've attended one, if they need to attend one. Just because like I know like last semester and even like just in the overall like academic year, like workshops was definitely difficult to get a student to like stick to one and like even have just a general document if they were going to that specific one or if they were switching up often. So because they don't necessarily have to have like a specific one for, well, they do have to have a specific one for the one of the types of sessions, but like that one that you just do once a month, like how will we be tracking that, I guess?
Yep. Great. That was like 20 questions there, Jasmine. So let me see if I can remember all of them.
Sorry.
No, it's not. Don't be sorry. It's great. I'm just, if I forget or if I skip over it, just remind me. So yes, there's definitely going to be a tracker sheet, right? So let's start with the most simple level, which is a weekly college readiness seminar and the study group. That's 2 hours a week. That's a very basic commitment for Y Scholars at this point. And that should be the same day and same time every week. I know that we've been kind of playing this like wishy-washy game, and I'm bringing it all back home now. So I'm trying to avoid those things because then, it's a lot more work. And then people just keep wanting to reschedule until they can't reschedule anymore. So it just doesn't quite work out having that model. So those two are rigid. It should be same day, same time every week. The once a month stuff, we obviously will create a schedule and the coaches. So coaches will be handling obviously the coaching sessions. Facilitators, you're handling the growth mindset workshop. So what we want to do is, I would say by the end of this month or near the end of this month, we should have a schedule of, I would say 6 to 8 workshops that we want to run in October. Okay. And so it'll be like a list, right? And it'll be just kind of like how you sign up for classes. So we'll put it out there. Each should have a cap. So then they're not all squeezed into one, right? And then, so I would say probably in that last week of September, we should try to schedule them into one of those 6 to 8 growth mindset workshops as much as possible. Okay. And then in terms of how they if they meet the once a month requirement, the way I'm looking at this is that very last week of the month. So let's say if it's a week of, I don't know, October 24th, that's when there will be like a slot to check off if they did a workshop or not. And so if they didn't do the workshop, the monthly workshop, or they didn't do the coaching for that month, then they get an incomplete week for that week.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just to kind of make it a little bit simple for us.
Okay. Yeah, no, that sounds great. Just because like for me, like I know that was definitely just an issue of like how to approach that even like last semester. Yep. And like the semester before that. So I just wanted to know. I probably will be reaching out for a little more guidance about that specifically, just so if I do run any problems, hopefully not with the juniors.
Definitely. And that's, this kind of stuff is exactly what I want us to be talking about during these meetings. I think I mentioned during info session, this year is going to be kind of messy. And then kind of building, or I would say reinforcing a culture is very difficult. So there's a lot of kind of work to be done. And we need to kind of ask for consistency. That's what we really need to be building on for this year. Okay. And then consistent for the sake of making our lives a little bit easier too, because I definitely agree rescheduling people, that's no fun at all. Okay. Great, thanks for that. Kind of going back to this, the staff training, is there anything else on there that you would like to see? Going once, twice.
Are we still gonna be using Calendly? Just like, or no? Is that not gonna be a thing anymore?
I don't think so. I don't think we need to do that. Okay. But if you believe there's a case for that, then we can figure that out.
Okay.
2 is there's also a way to kind of make Calendly available on your Google Calendar. I don't know if you've done that before, but it is possible to do that as well. So we may convert over to that if needed. But something that I actually do want to see more is getting our students to use maybe like their Google Calendar.
Okay.
So a little bit different from, well, last year you all did the paper schedule, right?
Yeah, sort of. It was like the paper schedule and then like Calendly for any coaching sessions we had.
Right. So this year, I think, if possible, and I know that there's always a big backlash when we try to implement some sort of system, which is to get students to learn how to use Calendar on their phone, which more or less would be Google Calendar or Apple Calendar. So one of those, I'm okay with either, but just as long as they know how to use that function on their phone and know how to put in appointments. So then when things come up, then it's popping up for them. So that's just one thing. Maybe we don't do it like program wide, but maybe for scholars who have consistently failed to show up on their assigned sessions, that may be a goal.
Because for me, like I still haven't like gotten down Google Calendar and or adding like a Zoom session or like a Google Meet within Google Calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering like if we will be using that for students, if there can be like maybe some training on that maybe we can also send to the students and be like, hey, like we told you this, but it's also here in plain language, just in case, like, because I do know like especially right now consistency will be like, even keeping track in like a calendar will be kind of difficult.
Can you clarify that? Keeping track of what will be difficult?
Like coaching sessions, or like even when they like for the growth mindset workshops, if they have it, just because they're so spread out, it's not like every single day, or like not every single day, but like once a week on that same day, like just keeping them in check to get reminders to know where they're going. In like a Google Calendar invite, because I personally don't know how to do that. Like I don't use my Google Calendar, I just have like a planner, so like having some kind of training on that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll add it to the bottom here. How to use, I guess let's just go with Google Calendar, since that everyone technically has access to that. Okay, that's great. Of course, later on, if once we get going, you're like, hey, I could use some additional support or advice or training on this, definitely bring it up. Okay. So as I mentioned, study up on the Scholars Program. I mean, it really isn't. I wouldn't say it's that difficult. I mean, most of it is kind of more or less the same, just maybe more fine tuned. So, and I just want to emphasize this is not a test. It's not like if you fail your pitch, like, the yellow slip sticky note comes out, So when would you say it would be a good time? And probably, I would say probably next week. When would you say is a reasonable day to meet with me to kind of at least start your first going with your kind of pitch check? Okay, it's a check. It's not a test. Okay, and I think and I've done this with especially the program assistants when they have to talk about the teen center. Honestly, the best way to do this is to just talk about it out loud. And the more times you talk about it out loud and do practice, it's 10 times more than staring at the material and trying to memorize the stuff. I truly believe, just like in public speaking, you're much better off practicing rather than reading the script over and over and over. Okay. So I'll take any kind of proposals. Otherwise, I'll push out kind of my thinking.
I think a week is sufficient.
Okay.
So next Friday or
Okay.
Next Friday, next Thursday.
Sounds good. Yeah. So I think that was kind of my thinking too. So a week. And then if you all maybe by Wednesday we'll check in to schedule a time. 15, 20 minutes to just meet online, and then you'll give me your pitch. I'll give you some feedback. Maybe you do it one more time, and then we'll do another week, and then we'll keep fine tuning until I feel confident about what you're saying. Okay? Great.
Audi, how long do these pitches have to be?
It's not like a how long, you see. So that's the thing. It's more like you can talk about each part of the program in the way that aligns with where I'm at. Does that make sense?
Okay, so you're gonna be like pretending to be a parent or interested student or
Yeah, there could be
yeah.
that too, but it's more like if you can make sure you know how to talk about each part. So like when you're talking about growth mindset workshop, you shouldn't be talking about like, oh, we're gonna be covering college stuff in this workshop, because that's absolutely not true. Does that make sense? So it's not about, oh, keep your pitch to 5 minutes long. It's nothing like that at all, right? But it's more like, yeah, if a parent asks you these particular questions like, hey, what's your attendance policy? You should have full knowledge of that. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Great. All right. Anything else before we move on from the staff training? Okay. All right, so I kind of threw this out there just to kind of make sure we have a set protocol, right? So just making sure, kind of reviewing again, when you are calling people for stuff, so like right now you're doing all these calls, make sure you're leaving voicemails to all parties, okay? And then after that, follow up with an email and a Slack message, okay? Please do that. And then if you want me to send them a text, assuming they're on community, then you just send me over the message and to whom, and I can schedule that out for you. So that's kind of the nice thing, is I can schedule out text messages on community. Okay. So then you'll do that one round. Okay. You'll wait a day. And then after that, a day or two, and then you'll do a second round. Okay. On your second round, make sure you give that deadline. Okay, so give a reasonable deadline. I think a reasonable deadline will be 2 to 3 days. Okay, so not the day after. So 2 to 3 days. So it'll be like, if I'm doing my second round right now, it'll be like, hey, America, I'm calling you again just to make sure you're getting my message. I'm trying to schedule a one-on-one session with you for next week. I would like to ask that you get back to me by Saturday at 6 p.m. Okay. And then that should also be in the follow-up email and the Slack message as well. Make sure in the email you're doing that you're including the parents in those emails, because I'm going to hold them accountable as well. I just had 3 more family meetings today to talk about why they need to communicate with us. And they've been great, to be honest. I actually really enjoy them. What I do is I ask them, hey, why are you on the program? What are you looking to get? And I ask the same from the parents. I'm like, what do you want your child? Like, what do you want for your child in the future? And then we talk about the students, and it actually became a really good discussion. So it's been going really well. And I think it's pretty much needed to just remind people why they're here. So that's been very cool to see. So it's kind of like reconnecting them to the program a little bit more intimately. Okay, so it's nothing bad. So if they miss a deadline, that's what's going to happen. And I really just want to do all these meetings at the beginning of the year to set the pace for the rest of the year. Okay. Right. But any kind of thoughts or additional ideas around our kind of communication protocol? Okay, I'll take that as a no. All right, lastly, I'm trying to up our communication game a little bit. I'll start off next week. I'm going to record a video message just saying hi to the community. And I'll remind them, hey, this week you all got one-on-one meetings with staff. Make sure you remember your times and show up. So I'll do kind of messages like that. I want to do at least one message every week. I don't want me to be the only person that they see. So if you're okay, I would love to have you kind of record a message you can send to me, and then I'll push it out too. And I'll give you the script, obviously, too. Okay. Is there anyone that's good for this, or you absolutely don't want to participate in this? Well, actually, let's just do this. Who would be wanting to join me in on this? Okay, I'll go around. All right, America is good. Elaine's good. Annie's good. Jasmine?
Yep, I'm down.
All right, this will be great. I love it. Soon I'm going to ask you all to do TikTok videos, so you better be prepared for that. Hey, we got to get with the time zone. Come on.
What's the fascination with TikTok? I feel like
Oh,
I'm
I'm a believer in TikTok.
so much. Like, are you on TikTok? And I'm like, no.
Okay, boomer. Okay.
Like, I don't understand. Like, okay, there's some funny ones. I won't even lie, but I don't see them on TikTok. I see them on Instagram or Facebook. Like, that's where I get my content, or Twitter.
I mean, TikTok's kind of like it's like a little bit longer version of Vine, right? Like it's just a little bit longer. But there's some good content on there. But I don't know. I'm sure once it gets banned, it's gonna die. You know. All right. I think that's it on my end. Anything else we need to talk about for now? Oh, so I will probably tomorrow is Saturday. I'll probably send out the agenda for the meetings that you all will be doing with the scholars. Okay. So then once you set the days and times for their study groups and their seminars, then what's going to happen is I'm going to actually send it out to the scholars and their parents as well. So then I'm going to ask them, hey, this is your set day and time. Please, as much as possible, mom and dad, to not schedule any dentist appointments or doctor's appointments or haircuts during those times. Okay. So again, it's just reinforcing this idea, like we're communicating, we're being very kind of transparent and informing the parents as well on all these things. So then they're on top of it. Okay. Cool. That's on my end. Unless there's anything else, then you all were good to conclude this meeting. Thank you for joining. Appreciate your time and help. I also, go for it.
In that agenda, are you gonna send like the Zoom links for the meetings that we have next week with them?
Yes. Oh crap! I totally forgot about this. Yes, I'll do that. Okay. I also shared your timesheets with you. Totally updated, so you can definitely start filling those things out. Cool. Thanks, everyone. Good night. Yep, Jasmine.
Will there be the seminar times on the sheet? I realized I was going through everyone's or the people that I have to call their profile, and it has an time right there. I don't know if that was last academic year's time for workshop or I saw you crossed it out, so I'm assuming it was last year's. I'm not sure.
Yeah, crossed out means that it got deleted. So it used to be under group, right? Right now it just has your name. Okay. So what's going to happen is, when I send you an agenda, I'm going to put out a proposed schedule of what are some possible, based on your schedules that you've given me. So if you change your schedules, let me know as quickly as possible. I'm going to throw out some good dates. So I'm going to be kind of looking at all the student schedules per grade level and available times that you all do have. And then we'll try to make it work as much as possible. There are some scholars next week. You're going to have to question them a little bit. You're going to have to do your little investigating. You only put 2 to 3:30 every day. And then come to find out that they want to go play soccer with friends starting at 3 every day. No joke. I'm like, that's
Call out. Call him out. Say his name.
I'm like, dude, you do not have soccer every day at 3. Okay. So things like that. Okay. And also a lot of them, I think despite the fact I put all the times, they thought they just have to put the time when they are first available. That's it. So basically it's 2 p.m. and onward, they're all available. So, that might be another goal for this year, is getting students to read directions. Okay, people, I think that's it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, folks. Have a good night. Talk to you later.
Good night.